Italy every week, and around 12.
سعد خذ هذا من الزوز ها طلعنا منهم بزوز عشان يبطئ في الصراط حتى يدبرهم وما يخليهم في بعد الصغار ماشي الله اكبر 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 على الجردان الله اكبر تنسق مصراتها تصحابها مالها 5 دينار 30 جرام 5 دينار محمد الله اكبر يا شباب انت تكبرهم هاي اكشنيني لازم نصفي يا لازم نصفي بنصفي كيف انا الله اكبر
If these migrants never had any value for Cameroon before, their ordeal within prisons in Libya has changed their perception about Cameroon. It is not only Cameroon, but fatherland. 250 of them, including children and pregnant women, recount hardship. Sorrow and pain. They are all traumatized because of unbearable pains.
We don't suffer too much. We don't see many things. Some people die because food, because sickness.
These migrants left Cameroon and were smuggled through Libya for Algeria with the intentions of getting to close by Italy. But it did not work as planned, as they ended in prisons, released after paying huge sums of money, only to be re-kidnapped by same persons for more ransom.
People die in deserts. People die in Libya, in around Libya, because in Libya everywhere is gone. Yes, they don't value blacks.
Everything in Libya is bad. I've seen anything good there. There's nothing good. All the human they are wicked. They don't know the human rights. They do to men anything they like. There are many people we left there. There are some of them there. They cannot even return back.
At hand to receive them were officials from the Ministry of Social Affairs, Public Health, and the Ministry of External Relations.
That among them are children, the pregnant women, and their young men. So we are giving them the necessary psychosocial assistance to make sure that we reboost their morals. Yes, the entire nation is there with them.
The International Organization for Migration is not only facilitating the comeback of the migrants, but will also reintegrate them within the communities.
Through the reintegration program, we are working with all stakeholders, including the government counterpart, in order to see in which way we can facilitate the reintegration.
3 out of the 6 pregnant women have been referred to the Gyneco-Obstetric Hospital, 14 cases referred to the Yaoundé General Hospital, 3 cases at the Jamon Hospital, and 1 referred to the Yaoundé Emergency Center.
Last night, on the Mediterranean, the European migrant and refugee emergency has not gone away. Not for this man.
Stay with me, okay? Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Not for this woman.
Rescue blankets, we need rescue blankets.
Rescue blankets.
Not for the volunteers struggling to cope. It started for us at sunrise yesterday, 15 miles off the coast of Libya. The scale of what was happening dawned. Just 3 days ago, official figures for migrants crossing here, 84,000.
Les enfants, yeah? For the children, yeah.
After what we've seen, that figure will need to be revised upward by thousands and thousands.
Right here!
On the big boats, the so-called double-deckers, they'd had enough. At this point, the rescue boat we're on is already full. This is the deck of the Sea-Watch 2, a German charity rescue boat. The capacity of this ship is 150 people. We are currently carrying about 400 souls, mainly from West Africa, that we picked up today. And if you follow me onto the bridge of the ship, you'll get a sense of the scale of this humanitarian crisis. Look at the radar. We've counted about 15 or 16 of those yellow dots. Every one represents a vessel. Some are migrant boats, some are charity boats, some belong to smugglers. And if you come out this direction, you'll get more of a scale. Excuse me, sir. There's people everywhere on the boat. Excuse me. If you look into the distance there, that large blue boat is what they call a double-decker. That's carrying approximately 700 people on 2 different levels. They've just arrived, and earlier in the day we were seeing people jump off those into the water, which is the nightmare scenario for the charities that are here. There are tough questions to answer here. Are these rescue missions part of the smugglers' business model? What of the politics of this? But for one woman, on one boat, the crisis boils down to this. And as the sun sets, if you're the person bailing the water out of the sinking boat, it amounts to "don't let me drown" in the dark.
We need help now. We need help now.
At night, the situation becomes critical. Radio messages bristle with panic. Migrant boats are sinking all around us. So this is the absolute perfect storm as far as a humanitarian crisis and a rescue at sea is concerned. We have a boat, a load of about 500 migrants on board. They're going to stay here all night because there isn't a bigger boat to transfer them onto. We have multiple calls of other sinking ships, sinking boats coming in, and they're trying to react to this as quickly as they can, all in the dead of night.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, wait.
Then onto the crowded boat, the casualties. When the motorboats were out taking people from the sea, a strange window of trauma and quiet. Just the rustle of the foiled blankets. This crisis is complex. No one solution, no one cause. Different perspectives. The volunteer head of mission, Ryanair Boer, is a locksmith from Holland and has a perspective too. He's just recovered 4 dead bodies.
How is it possible that so close to the border of Europe, people are dying? We just came to the last minute. We knew there was boats and no one comes to the rescue for them. We volunteers, we just a random locksmith.
The thing about this crisis, the closer you get to it, the harder it is to make sense of why it's happening. Faith from Nigeria tried to with a hymn. Last night, we brought you the story of the rescue. The struggle to cope. The scale. okay? Excuse me? Tonight, the story of those rescued. Have you been to see the doctor? What binds them all together, their experience in Libya. The stories that we've been hearing from the people getting on these boats is stories of savagery in Libya, stories of torture in Libya. People talk about modern-day slavery. This feels medieval.
They can shoot people like that. People dying every day. Yeah, Libya is not good.
God save our life, because we don't have hope.
If you're there in the car inside, they see you, they go shoot you. Every time they shoot our blacks. That's why you go enter this boat.
With hypothermia setting in, this wasn't the place to probe about why people ended up in Libya. We decided to leave the refugee versus economic migrant question for another day. 3 days ago, in fact. An earlier rescue. People from about 8 different countries were on this boat.
No toilet now! No toilet, just go! I think it's like the address or the number of some relatives. I can't say for sure. It's definitely some numbers. I think telephone numbers or something written on Arabic. So.
The only space for proper interviews, a chair on the bridge. First up, Ahmed Fayad from Hama, Syria, and how to explain to his boys why they're here.
طبعا احنا اكيد هخبرهم يعني انا غامرت بحياتكم يعني يا بابا. هذا طفل من حقه يلعب. ما بيقدر يلعب ابني، ما فيني أمن عليه أخذه على مكان يلعب فيه بالجيم لأنه صغير. عادة دائما في أصوات المتفجرات، القتل. ابني لازم يكون سعيد، ما في سعادة. نفسية هو تعبان، أنا كبير نفسية تعبانة أيضا. مستقبل أنا أعلم أن مستقبله في دول أوروبا أفضل من ليبيا حيكون. طبعا. لكن في المستقبل سأقول أنا غامرت بحياتكم في البحر من أجل مستقبلكم يا أولادي، ليس من شأني أنا، بل من مستقبلهم هم.
1 and 2, 1 and 2. This year there's been a marked spike in the numbers of people from Bangladesh doing this journey.
This is like the Bangladesh section of the boat.
Mohammed, for example, worked in a shopping centre in Misrat, Libya for 2 years. One day his boss stopped paying him, so he left. Different motivations, different causes for this crisis, but crisis it is. The second boat that arrived that day. For a moment, a sense that desperation would overrun the ship. When order was restored, back to the seat on the bridge. Person after person explained why they were there. All day and into the night. The last person, 20-year-old Divine from Nigeria, arrived in Libya last year. And in the darkness, a matter-of-fact account of what it's like to be a slave in 2017.
If you come out like we black, they might kidnap you, they will sell you, you will look for money and pay yourself, this kind of stuff.
I see. And is that what happened to you?
Yes.
Were you bought and sold?
Yes, I was sold. Somebody.
Really?
Yes. And I paid.
Last night, the 500 migrants on our boat were transferred to a bigger ship, destined for Italy. They escaped the worst of fates, the ones that floated into view again and again on our way here. The young rescue volunteers would light a smoke signal to remember